What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're interacting to the second episode of The Duke of Death and His Maid. This one's titled The Duke, His Butler, and a Lost Cat. I don't remember seeing a cat at any point, but I do remember him mentioning his butler. He's an old man, right? And I think we've seen him I've seen him in promo art and stuff, so I know that's probably who we're going to be introducing, but I'm kind of interested to see what type of character he ends up being as time goes on. This show, I'm into it. Like, I really dig the characters of it. I dig the idea of it. It's certainly an interesting, it's an interesting reason to allow a protagonist, because one of my main critiques when it comes to like male protagonists in romance-based shows is they never act on their desires at all, and they never really get anywhere because of it. In this one, there's an actual barrier that's preventing it, and that build-up is going to probably explode at some point and become a problem. In the fact that he just can't touch anything living or it dies. And I asked the greatest question of all time, which is, what about Yakult? Does he get any benefit from it? And yeah, the bacteria wouldn't help him, but he would at least taste it, I suppose. Because he doesn't just like obliterate anything that he touches, it's just living things. Anyway, yeah, so at least there's now an actual reason why he can't act on his desires for Alice, and he does have desires for Alice. It's kind of obvious and kind of hard not to have desires for her. I mean, when she's in your face about it like that, right? And I think she enjoys getting in his face about it. But I wonder if there might not be more of a reason why she's pushing him so much. Because it's one thing to get some enjoyment out of teasing him and having fun with it. That's one thing. But I wonder if she's not wanting to do this to keep the Duke sane, because he's been in solitary isolation like this since he's been cursed, which we don't know why he was cursed yet. So, part of me just wants to believe that maybe the parents are involved, because anime parents like this that just isolate a child just because it's cursed and don't want to help make me think they're somewhat suspect in all of this as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's the parents that are the reason behind the curse in the first place, or something along those lines. Or they cursed the family, and he just happened to be the one that got it, and the parents didn't really learn the lessons because of it. So that's kind of how I see maybe it going down. But anyway, I think Alice might also just be doing it to keep him sane, give him attention, because he's not going to get attention otherwise. We even saw that with Philip, how he was just sent here as a spy. He doesn't want to be near him, despite being a very strong childhood friend of his. But I also think it might just be motivation for him to want to break the curse, because in that situation, it's very easy just to give up, right? Like, you've got this affliction, you don't know why, screw it, what's the point anymore, right? Like, and that happens for a lot of people in the real world. When you're afflicted with something, whether it be a disease, what's the word for it? I've forgotten the word for it entirely, but if you're disabled, there we go. The words came to me eventually. You're like, if you're physically disabled, you've lost use of your legs, you lost use of your arms, you're completely from the neck down, like you can't move, like things like it's very easy to be like, well, what's the point anymore? Like, and give up. But you need that motivation to keep going, and I think Alice is giving him that motivation to keep going and to push to find out what's going on with the curse and to hopefully break it. And she is his motivation for breaking the curse. He wants to break it and repay her kindness to him, and even ask to marry. Although that was the language of the flowers that was asking. I don't think he was quite aware of that, but you kind of get the idea behind it, right? Anyway, let me just turn my phone off because I realized I left that on sound. Don't know if you heard my ringtone or not through that. It's from Kill la Kill. Anyway, yeah. So I really like the premise of the show, but there's always a but. I don't mind the CG at all. Like, I think the CG for the character interactions is perfectly fine. My problem comes from the stylized backgrounds they use with the CG, because whenever you have a character and the background has this very detailed, like, effect on it, like it's a painted effect, Like you're looking at like the bumps of the paper itself. It's not like a completely smooth surface like with typical stuff. You can see the bumps and stuff. And that means when you have other CG assets, the most notable from last time was like the bed, for example. You had the bed and its background, and it was very obvious, at least to me, it was obvious where you have a CG asset and where you have actual background, and I don't like that contrast. Like, if the CG had that effect over it, or if that effect just didn't exist on the background, I wouldn't notice and I'd probably be like, oh yeah, that's fine. But it's because I can see the visible difference between what the CG and the background style is. That's what kind of just like, throws me off a little bit. I'll just get used to it. It was only one episode and we've got another 11 to go. Wait, 11 or 12? 11 to go. So it's just a case of me getting used to it. It's not a case of CG bad. Like I said, I don't mind the CG. It's just it's too easy to tell against background and CG assets. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, we're gonna get into the actual episode because I realize I'm actually taking up a lot of time on this intro. As per usual, these are time-based format I consider on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in picture, you can go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gives you access to all Patreon page directions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as World Trigger, Symphogear, and Lock Horizon, of which Symphogear and Lock Horizon will be meeting their new time slots here this week. Normally this Monday will probably be one of them, but because I was behind on Sunday shows, it's not this week. It will be on either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then it will come back to a Monday, depending on how I feel about Detective is Already Dead and things like that. So, bit of stuff going around, but this week is the week where everything kind of falls into place and we kind of have a firm idea of what's happening. Hopefully. We'll see. But here on YouTube we do time-based, so bottom left of the screen you'll see your time for the episode. I count down 3 to 1 play. Then on play say episode, I say episode, and we should be in sync. We're watching this one on Funimation, since they're the ones who licensed this series. We have the Universal logo and then the Funimation logo, which is the longest logo in anime. 31 seconds of logos. I'll call them out as I go past, but you can also see screen flash on my face, the mic, or just by my headset to tell when the scenes are transitioning. And if I jump out of my skin and freak out, you're not sure why, it's because there's a moth in this room. I cannot find it. It flew past, well, it's been flying around my light all day. Well, not all day, all night. And I don't know where it went. So, if it flies out in front of me, I'm going to jump out of my skin because flying anything just makes me jump instinctually. Warning. Alright? Anyway, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Universal. Oh, long intro. And Funimation, finally. Here we go. I mean, that's hell, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. OB time? Yeah, that's Rob. So SMD were the ones so doing the CG on this. Because like I said, I didn't think of JC Staff as a particularly CG heavy studio. All right, here he is. Welcome back. Place getting a little lively again. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. It's a great deal of respect for him. Hmm. Well, yes. Just a quick flash every now and then. Just keep him on his toes. Mm-hmm. That was close. Can't. Okay, that's a problem. Hmm. Yes. Don't knock over the vase. Oh. Mm. I gave him rather quick. Bless him. He's trying. Okay. Thinking about it. Hmm. Sure. Yes, she was. Thinking back on that moment. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that will wake you up. Hmm. Uh, okay. Going out? Okay. Is visiting us, probably. Maybe she's meant to be the cat. I don't know. Oh, no, there's an actual cat on the loose. Oh, here she is. That's good. Yeah. Why is she here then? Mm-hmm. Just for a change of pace? What's that look? Uh, yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't know if this is a good idea. I mean, sure. He. Right. Just a bit. No. Some things you just can't overcome yet. Wants him back. Hmm. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay. Yeah. What was that last bit? I feel like the last 20 seconds were just. Yeah. Hmm. But what are you doing to break the curse? We haven't seen you do anything. Not like research or like. Oh boy. It's a cat. Well, it's mostly for the concern of the cat. Hmm. Yep. Ah, I see you're a cat of culture as well. Possibly. Ooh, that was close. That run cycle. Wait, what? Rob. Uh, wow. What a mess. That cat is actually way too well animated. That cat is way too well animated, honestly. To even do like the kicking thing, like I don't think I've ever seen that. Like I've seen it in anime before, but never like that. Please forgive me. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Hmm. You have your family as well. Okay. Say, that's not ED, is it? It's way too early for ED. And we're just transitioning into a song. Just didn't expect the insert song. Hmm. That's an interesting transition. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. It's quite the risk to take, but I love all the subtle little movements in this, just showing that they want to, but they know they can't. And that's a fucking nice transition to an ED. Okay, shutting off now. I think we've got an after credit scene though. Plenty of episode left. I swear, if we zoom back out of the moon and they're just finishing the dance, that'll be a fire transition. I'm really enjoying this show. I really am. I'll talk more about it in a minute, obviously, but just put that in there for especially those who are just watching the picture-in-picture version. Really enjoying this, or just watching the reaction itself and not listening to my discussions. Genuinely enjoying this. Okay, we didn't zoom out, we just cut back, okay. It's a very broad question. Hmm. 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 Also the landing. Duke and the meteor shower during the full moon. Okay. I am really enjoying this show. I really like the dynamic between these two characters. I mean, you kind of have to, right? Like, if you don't like these two characters, then I don't think this show is going to be for you, like, full stop. This show is very much going to be based around your attachment to these two. I'm attached, honestly. So that makes it very easy for me to enjoy this. I do wonder how the curse elements are going to come into play, because how long has this manga been coming out for? Since 2017. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they probably have not broken the curse in the runtime of the manga. I feel like the manga itself will probably end if he ever breaks the curse. Because I feel like if he does break the curse, it then just becomes a generic romance manga. And I don't know if that necessarily would keep up sales figures and keep up interest in that sense. Then again, I don't know much about the manga industry and what's selling and what's not selling right now. I just think that, at least in terms of anime, romance, just normal romance, doesn't seem to be popular. Unfortunately. At least not in the West. I don't know about Japan, if romance shows in general are popular or not, but just generic romance, especially serious romance, doesn't seem to sell too well. When you start adding comedy, so rom-coms, it works. Ecchi rom-coms definitely work, because everyone loves some ecchi, apparently. But just serious romances don't seem to work out. I guess this is technically a rom-com, right? The comedy is it's not very in your face about it, which I appreciate. They're not trying to make a joke every 5 minutes. They're willing to let the mood just settle and then allow a joke to crop up naturally, and I appreciate that. I'm curious about what the hell these other two characters in the promo art are. Like the other red-haired girl and whatever weird bird thing this is. I don't know what it is. But with the next episode titled Duke and the Meteor Shower During the Full Moon, I don't know if we're necessarily going to introduce them just yet. Yeah. I like how it's just like, it's not a case of like, him and Alice basically might as well say, oh yes, I want to date you, but it's just a case of the curse. The curse is stopping them from going any further. Which, I feel sorry for Bocchan as well, especially because what is his love language? Like, this is another weird question I kind of am curious about, but like, if his love language is physical touch, that's the worst. Like, that's the absolute worst. Like, if he had the love language of, what is it? Is it called acts of service? Whatever that one is, I'm sure he's perfectly fine, but I think everyone appreciates a bit of physical touch as part of their love language. Like, some people say, like, oh, it's not important for me, but you still have those moments where you're like, it's nice to have, obviously. And you probably take it for granted because, like, this situation is so out there. It's like, it's akin to, like, it's a long-distance relationship, but you're frighteningly close to them. It's like a long-distance relationship with your next-door neighbor. You're right there. but you just can't do anything about it. That's the worst. Knowing that it's you can reach out and touch it, but you also can't. And that's why I think the story works really, really well. And it's like, you see the little movements, especially when they were like dancing. It's like they wanted to get closer, but they just had to refrain every time. You can see it on their face as well. Quite expressive faces for CG as well, which is nice. All in all, just a very enjoyable show so far. I'm curious if we can break the curse in 12 episodes. I don't think so. I think we'll learn some more about the curse. Maybe we'll get somewhere with regards to understanding what we can do to combat it a little bit, and maybe find some way to, if temporarily, have a moment where we don't have to worry about the curse. Be it, like, say, a momentary reprieve of, like, you have, like, an hour where the curse is no longer manifested. I wonder if they are going to be as cliche to say it's only true love's kiss that can break the curse, and if he were to fully kiss Alice, the curse would be lifted. I don't think it's going to be something as simple as that. It could be, but I think they might go a bit more in detail than that with this, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the one as per usual. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the summer 2021 lineup you can find here on the channel. Thank you for watching. Till next time. See you guys later.